How's it, everybody? What's up? It's Ulu. I wanted to talk about filtering. Okay, we're all familiar with filters. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Every time you post a story, you can put a filter on to make yourself look younger, especially TikTok, right? We all know what filters are. And, it makes you look, maybe the filter makes you look slender in the face. Maybe it'll hide the aging lines, um, make yourself look better. And a lot of people use filters today on social media to make themselves look better. But there's a different kind of filter, or the term filtering, that I wanted to talk about. The filtering that I wanted to talk about is part of filtering in your life. And there's different types of filtering that I'm going to touch on in this post. Okay, there is mental filtering, and there's personal filtering, emotional filtering, and how we begin filtering. Okay, so the process of filtering basically is to eliminate something that isn't to your liking, or that is not beneficial or conducive to your life. So mental filtering, we're gonna start off with mental filtering. Mental filtering is a cognitive distortion or a faulty thought pattern that causes a person to filter out positive events and focus on negative ones. In other words, we only focus on the ones that cause us depression, pain, or anxiety. Mental filtering occurs when we discard our pleasant memories and the emotions attached to them and only keep the bad ones. We will start off with a light example, but something that can kind of take over your mental. Okay, so for example, you're invited to a party. You get ready, you go to the party, you look good, you feel good, especially if you bought an outfit for this party, and you feel confident, you look good. You go to the party, you meet people, you have a good time, you're talking to people, you're laughing with people, and people are complimenting on your outfit. Oh, you look so nice, blah blah blah, this and that. Then when you go home, you get out of your new outfit, and then you realize that there's a little rip on the outfit. Now, the whole night, you didn't notice it. Okay, you didn't notice it the whole night, but now in your mind you're thinking, gosh, I hope this rip wasn't there. How much people saw it. How much people saw it. Oh my gosh, it's exposing this area. I didn't even know. And then you start to think about, instead of focusing on the positive events of the night, you start to overthink and focus on the negative part of the rip. When you got home, you discovered the rip, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I hope my ass was not showing the whole night. It's right there. And and you start to wonder, like, shit, did everybody see it, or did it just happen? You're hoping. You try to convince yourself, and you try to tell yourself, well, maybe it just happened, when I got out of the car, when I got home, or but you're so unsure that you start to overthink about that rip. and where it was and who saw it and how come nobody told you anything and this and that, and then it starts to kind of develop a negative perception on the whole evening, that you looked like trash, or you looked like, God, this chick, she came to this party with this rib, or another example is you meet somebody at this party and you're having a great conversation. You guys are talking for hours and hours and hours, and you're really vibing with this person. Okay, let's say it's a guy, or if you're a guy, let's say it's a girl. Then when you go home and you're getting ready for bed and you go to brush your teeth and you discover that there's something black in your teeth, and you're thinking, oh shit, I wonder if that person saw that the whole time that I was talking to them. And you try to convince yourself that, oh, maybe it just got stuck, in there. Maybe it wasn't there the whole night. Maybe it just got in there when I ate my last bite before I left. After, hope that person never see him. But then it still takes over because you don't know. You really don't know. And so you're just wondering the whole time. You start to overthink and you're wondering the whole time, oh my goodness, this person was looking at this black thing or this piece of food that was stuck in my teeth the whole night. And now you're thinking about your impression, right? Same thing like with the dress. You're thinking about your impression that you made on people, and it's not a very good impression because you're just thinking the negative. Your whole mind is stuck on the negative part. So, that is called mental filtering. That's the process. We are processing and filtering out the positive stuff and focusing more on the negative stuff. And it's like that is what society has programmed us to do, is to do constant mental filtering because of social media. On social media, you see women that are, they got the bodies of a model. They got the, latest brand outfits. I don't know. I'm not into that kind of stuff. So, I don't know fashion like that. I really don't. I don't know fashion and style like that. I could really care less about it, to be honest. I just want to be me. So I don't know about, those kinds of things as far as fashion and style. But I do see on social media that there's so much focus on beauty standards. And so when a young girl or a young person is looking at social media and they are looking at these women who are beautiful, they got great bodies, and they look sexy all the time, and you start to do mental filtering about yourself, and then it causes anxiety and depression. And that is what is a huge problem with people today. Personal filtering is how you see the world around you. Your personal filter is the way you see, interact, and interact with people, and interpret the world around you and within you. Now, this personal filtering that you choose, it impacts everything in your life, like I just said. Especially in today's society, social media is a huge impact on a lot of people today. It changes the way you observe the world around you. This personal filtering, it's based on your experiences, and it creates your own personal perception of the world. Reflecting on past experiences and behaviors determine our perception of a behavior or outcome. Again, social media is a great example. I'm going to give you another example of personal filtering. I'm going to tell you a story. Yesterday, I took my car in. I noticed that there was like acid that was leaking, when I looked at the car battery, because the light came on in my car. So I took my car in, and already I kind of contemplated that I was going to be late for work, because I wasn't sure how many people was going to be at the auto repair shop or whatever, or how long it was going to take, or what they was going to tell me, if I was going to find out it was the battery. So I was very optimistic, though. I was very optimistic. So the car battery light came on. I took it in. They changed the battery. They put a new battery in my car. Okay. It cost me some money. It did. It really cost me some money that I really didn't have to spend. I really, really didn't have to spend. It cost me $170. Okay, fine. I'll do it. I have to do it, right? Okay. Regardless, I need a new battery for my car. So when I was sitting there for a long time, unknowingly, my car is ready to go. I finally stood up. I went to the guy and at the counter. I said, I'm just checking on my car because I've been, I was there for like an hour and a half. I made the first appointment for 9 o'clock in the morning, so I wouldn't be late for work, although I kind of contemplated it. But I stood up, I went to the guy, and I asked him if my car was ready. He said, yeah, so he gave me the keys. And I had asked him about the alternator too, because he never mentioned about the alternator. Nothing. He didn't mention anything about the alternator, but I know a little bit about, alternator and battery work together, charging each other. So I asked him about the alternator, and he said, oh yeah, the alternator charged a little bit, but we want you to drive the car for a couple days, and if anything, if the light doesn't go off, then bring it back to us. I said, okay, fine. So I drove it to work. I went to work yesterday, came home, woke up this morning, drove my car. The light was still on. Okay. I ended up getting stalled on my way to work. I was literally 2 minutes away from my job, and I ended up getting stalled on the road. It's a busy road over there. That's like one of the main roads that people who work on the strip use to get to the casinos and hotels that they work at. My lights came on, my dashboard was flashing, my radio was going off and on, and finally my car died. I had to pull on the side of the road. It was raining, and I had to pull on the side of the road. The first thing I did was call a tow truck. I called the tow truck, set my location and everything. By then, I said, okay, I gotta call my job, tell them that I am going to be calling out for the day because I don't know what I gotta do. I don't know how long the tow truck's gonna take. I don't know. So already I was just livid. I ended up sitting there. I didn't wait too long, thankfully. I didn't wait too long, maybe about half an hour, 40 minutes. The tow truck came. I decided that I was going to, I had set my location to drop off at my residence. I called the auto repair shop. I told them about the car, and I told them that I was stalled on the side of the road. They told me, okay, bring it in. I decided that, nah, I'm gonna tow it to my house. At this point, I don't know what to do, where the money's gonna come from. I start thinking about all these things that is going through my head, all these negative things. I called several people that I knew that, unfortunately wasn't available, didn't answer my call. And I was thinking, how am I gonna get home? Is the tour guide gonna allow me to ride home in the car with him? Or do I have to have somebody come and pick me up? Well, fortunately, I got my cousin on the phone, and she was free in the morning, so I ended up talking to her on the phone, and I thought to myself, should I have it repaired? I called her and I was like, should I have it taken to the shop, or should I have it taken home? I already set the location, so I was like thinking, oh frick, I messed up. I shouldn't have, put my residence on the location to drop off. I should have put the auto repair shop, as the location to drop off. Well, to make a long story short, I said, you know what? If I go home with the car and don't go to work, today there's nothing. I cannot do anything today. There's nothing that I can do, so I'm going to go home and I'm going to be mad about the car. I'm going to be, there's nothing that I can do. I'm going to have to call the guy to reset the whole thing and have it towed again. I'm going to have to, sit there and wait and then go. And then knowing that I didn't really have the funds, I was strapped. I was really strapped. So I asked my cousin if she was willing, if she would be able to pick me up from my home and actually take me to work. So I ended up calling my boss and asking her if I could come to work instead. So the point that I'm trying to make, okay, was I almost chose to perceive the day as a bad day, right? And to go home and be depressed about my car. But instead, I asked my cousin if she would be able to take me to work. At least I would still go to work, right? What I'm supposed to be doing. I would still get paid even though I would be late, right? And I would be able to do the job that I was supposed to do on that shift, instead of perceiving it as a bad day and just telling myself, screw it, whatever, leave it as is, let's just do it, and take me home, and I'm gonna be in my bed depressed, right? Because I couldn't do anything already. I just couldn't. I didn't have the financial means to do it. I didn't know where to take it. I didn't know, because I know if I took it to the repair shop, they would be demanding money in order to fix my car that day, and I couldn't. I didn't have the money. Granted, I lost a couple hours of work, but I chose to turn it around and make it a better day. I already knew that I couldn't do anything, right? So, because I had to devise a plan for my car. I had to be able to devise a plan and sit and think about it and really be able to make a plan on how I'm going to get my car repaired. So instead of going home and being mad about it, I decided to go to work and still be productive. Now the only situation at the end of the day was to be able to go home. I'm so thankful that I was able to get someone to take me home after my shift, and it was still a productive day, and it got my mind off of the whole idea that my car was down. I still had to do my job, my duty, so I was able to be productive. There's things in our life, guys, that we are able to control, and then there's things in our life that we're unable to control. I couldn't control the fact that my freaking car just stalled, but thank goodness I was able to have a tow truck come and not have to pay out of my pocket and have it sent home. Because for the life of me, I could not leave my car there. And you know what? With that said, I gotta let you guys know. As I was sitting there with my hazard lights flashing on and off, and all this traffic that was happening and driving past me, I thank you, Lord, for the police officer that came by. And guess what? He got me into safety. He came and he pushed my car into the parking lot of a business so that I was safe, because there was no way that I could get out of the car with all the cars passing by. I just sat in my car making my phone calls. I sat in my car making my phone calls, trying to figure out what I was gonna do, and I'm glad that a police officer came by and he pushed the car for me. So shout out to Metro Police out there. Thank you for I didn't get the officer's name. I was just so into what I needed to do. I didn't get his name, but he pushed my car off the road into a safe place so that I wouldn't get hit, because it was raining. It was really raining. So thank you, Lord, for sending the police officer there for me. I'm so happy and I'm so thankful. That is a personal experience of filtering, the process of filtering that went through my mind. Instead of holding on to the negative and being mad about it and staying home and just being mad about the fact that my car died, I turned it around and made it a productive day for me. And that is the thing that we need to always remember, is that, in life, there's some things that we cannot control, and then there's some things that we are able to control. So the things that we are able to take control of, we should always use it towards positivity and purpose. So I made a purposeful decision to allow a positive thing to come into my life. I still made my money for the day. I still went to work. I still stayed committed to my job and my title, and went to work and alleviated the stress that me having to call out would. I alleviated the stress that other people would get from me calling out for the day. Now we're going to talk about emotional filtering. So emotional filtering, okay? Filtering emotions is separating the things that are causing us pain, reaching down into the core of things, then deciding that these things are not essential, nor is it deserving of our energy and focus. Separating the important things that allow us to focus on ourselves. If something or someone is causing us pain or hurt, then we need to filter that thing or that someone out of our lives. When I say out of our lives, I don't necessarily mean to X them out or X out that thing. It means to have a deep understanding of why it's causing us pain and how to deal with it so that it no longer causes us pain. If we allow it or them to continue to be a negative part of our daily lives, then how we perceive our daily living is greatly affected. When I say that, I mean it will change the way we look at our world around us, our interactions with others, and reactions to situations. If we continue on this brainwave or constant thought of pain, hurt, and sadness, we end up with depression and anxiety. The process of filtering doesn't only help us to fix these things, but it also helps us to rediscover our values and what they are. So, how do we begin filtering? Okay, so the things that we need to be filtering, we need to filter out things, people, places, habits, and food that are not good for us. And it all begins with intention. We always say we're going to stop eating bad food and we're going to make better choices. But you know what? We need to be committed. Okay, we need to stay committed. We have to make a commitment. Our intentions need to be purposeful. So, for an example, okay, I have never really worked graveyard shift, like hardcore. Well, okay, I'm lying. Back in Hawaii, years and years ago, I worked for a collection agency that did cold calls to different parts of the United States. And because we're in Hawaii, I would start work at midnight, and at 6 o'clock in the morning, we'd start doing cold calls in the computer. The computer would just pop up all these delinquent accounts from credit cards, loans from Wells Fargo and things like that. And we wouldn't have to dial out. It would automatically cold call these people that were in the East Coast. So 6 hours difference from Hawaii to the East Coast. So we would end up calling these people at 6 o'clock in the morning. And that was one graveyard shift that I work. I would work from 12 o'clock to sometimes 10 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock in the afternoon, in the morning, or 12 o'clock, This collection agency, you could work as many hours as you wanted because you could make as much money as you could collecting bank information, debit information from these people to have it processed. So you had to really call them and say, hi, this is so-and-so from such and such collection agency. We are here to collect the debt. You have to pitch them. So I would work graveyard shift. At that time, they never have energy drinks. Now, this where I work on this strip is completely different. You're servicing guests and you have to be smiley, hospitable. You have to have a good persona, and your energy has to be positive. Well, I found that energy drinks is very, very useful for the graveyard shift, especially working in the tourist industry on the strip in Las Vegas in a 24-hour establishment. Okay, so my graveyard shift starts almost to midnight to the early morning when the sun comes up. I found that energy drinks are really, really good. I became addicted to them. And I was, I had to have it. Even on my days off, I had to have it. Now, because there's so many energy drinks out there, and there's a lot of people that live on that, and there's people that even got, their bodies are screwed up because of it. And I know that energy drinks can kind of screw up your liver, and I was really, really concerned about it. So I made a commitment that I was going to stop energy drinks and just drink my coffee, right? Because I am a caffeine person. I was going to drink coffee and just use that energy, to get me through the night. I did very, very well. I cut myself off of energy drinks, and I only drink one kind. And I found that, there was a lot of changes going on through my body, and I had to do lab work. So I was before I went to the doctor, I was really concerned because I know that it'll screw up your liver. It can screw up your liver really badly. Thank you, Lord. My liver is good. Hallelujah. Praise God. But now I am working 2 days on day shift, 3 days on night shift. So I'm just kind of like going through this little transition, and my sleep patterns are all off. Not to mention, I'm going to have to use alternate transportation for the next week or so. So now my sleep pattern is going to be more off than it usually is. However, I started to drink energy drinks again. But just to make it clear that I was 100% addicted to this energy drink, and being that it had no sugar, I felt like, oh yes, it's super healthy for me. And but it became so bad that even on my days off, I could not get moving without an energy drink, and I started buying them by the cases. I started buying them by the cases off of Amazon. That's how bad it got. But I needed to filter that out because I could feel that it wasn't really good for my body. And so I ended up cutting it out. And you know what is the funny thing is? The funny thing is that I really, really didn't tell people, okay, I am going to stop drinking this energy drink because of what such and such. No, I just did it. I just did it pretty much cold turkey, and I ended up, not being addicted to it. But now I have started again. So the point of me telling you that is I was committed with intention to filter out the bad stuff that was negative to me. Because why? Number one, I was worried about my liver. Number two, it affected my blood pressure, and I cannot have that. It affected my blood pressure, and it affected my I was thinking that maybe it was affecting my liver. I didn't want to go to the doctor, do some labs, and then find out my liver is shutting down because of this energy drink. So I committed myself to it, and it was a purposeful commitment, and my intention was to not do it for the betterment of my health. So I was replacing it with drinking more of just my coffee, my 1 cup of coffee for the night, and that's it. That was it. Let me tell you, it was a little bit hard, but I did it. I really, really did it. So, intention, purposeful, positive decisions and choices to make in replacement of letting go and filtering the negative stuff out of your life. You need to identify the situation, acknowledge and identify the way it makes you feel, and address it. We need to release ourselves so that we can allow ourselves more space to bring positivity into our lives. Being present and cultivating your inner self or your intuition. If something doesn't feel right to you, acknowledge it, identify it, and let it go. If you're able to practice this process, it will stop you from overthinking about it. And because of society and social media, we tend to overthink. Like I said in the beginning, We overthink about the way women look on social media, and we start to compare ourselves. And then when we realize that, or we think about ourselves as not being as beautiful, not being as sexy, not having the things that these other women have, we tend to bring ourselves down. In today's society, we overthink things and respond to it the way our brain tells us to do. Instead, we need to begin to feel our way through these things. If we feel our way through it, it allows us for a more intentional and clear navigational process. When you begin this process of eliminating the things in your life that bring you negativity, remember it must be replaced with something. And that something is positivity. The best example, of course, would be getting out of a relationship. When you're getting out of a relationship, replace it with something positive. Be sure to focus on loving yourself and taking care of yourself. Gently let them go. Gently meaning processing the reasons why you are letting go of the relationship. And again, be sure to focus on self-care and loving yourself. Taking the time to spoil yourself by going for walks and enjoying outdoors, planning a day of complete self-care like a bubble bath, pedicure, skincare, trying a new hairstyle, reading a book and laying in bed all day, journaling, or what I like to call writing therapy. Replacement of purposeful positives will be beneficial to you in all aspects of your life. With that said, I'd like to thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment any words of encouragement or any thoughts that you might have about this post, anything you'd like to contribute to this post. Contribution is appreciative. Hashtag She Speaks, cashapp, uluhilyfe. It will help us do a better podcast, have better equipment, get ourselves more out there. And we'd like you to go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join us next time. We are definitely having a third episode coming up soon. I will let you guys know, keep you guys posted, and follow me on social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Follow me, guys. Kidding.
All my life is luscious, red bones so serious, I'm Eddie Murphy delirious. Peep the high